Hey guys, we're back once again discussing and talking about what's going on in the Philippine markets with the right foundation on how you can trade the markets with confidence. But before I begin, allow me to congratulate Hidlin Diaz for winning the very first gold medal of the Philippines. I think it's close to 100 years already before ever since we joined the Olympics, and we haven't really won a gold medal. So congratulations for doing something historic. And in my opinion, she will go down as one of the best athletes in Philippine history, because by the fact that she won a silver medal in the Olympics and then another gold medal, and no one has ever done that before. That alone is a feat in and of itself that's truly amazing. And I guess before I go and talk about what's happening in the markets, I also want to say this to all of you guys watching this, that if you have a dream, no matter how hard it is, if you have a dream, you have a goal, you have a plan, and even if other people don't believe in you, no matter how far-fetched it may seem, or if you have a lot of people uh, that don't agree or tingin nila sobrang taas ng pangarap mo, keep on pushing, keep on hustling, keep on working hard. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to listen to other people's opinions of you. You just have to do what you need to do. You just have to follow what your plan and what your goal is. Because at the end of the day, your journey is different from other people, and whatever God given dreams, plans, ambitions, goals that have been placed in you, run with it. Because at the end of the day, we have one life to live. So make it count. Make it something that when you hit your 60s, 70s, 80s na hindi ka manghihinayang dun. And I guess that's why I love also making videos like this, because in a way, no, it allows me to express myself, and it allows me to give back and share my thoughts and my ideas to all of you guys as well. Now, for those who are new, my name is Marvin Germo. I'm a stock market trader and investor, and we're going to discuss certain concepts about what's happening in the markets today. However, no matter how much I talk about it, please don't buy, sell, hold, or avoid any other stock that we talk about here, because at the end of the day, it's your money, it's your responsibility. Please take the time to learn. Please take the time to be able to build the skills that you need to be able to trade the markets with confidence. So, that being said, I want to start off by talking about what happened in the market as a whole. We saw the market start to rebound today. Primarily, the PSEI closed at 6,522. It was up 149.97 points. And please do note that it dipped to around the 6,300 plus level yesterday, brought about by a ton of selling as well. And I mentioned this in a previous video that markets tend to drop in the Philippines primarily because of number one, when there's a lot of uncertainty brought about by the rising number of cases, and if there's a threat also of a lockdown once again. And we're seeing it now, no, the more we open up again, we're seeing cases start to rise up again, and then we're seeing the Delta variant also come out as well. And I think some of the vaccines are not well equipped up against it. So yun lang, every time there's uncertainty, every time people are not so sure about how things will possibly go from that standpoint, and then there's a threat that we may go into a lockdown again if things escalate further, then it brings markets, at least from a Philippine standpoint, to a spiral lower. Anytime there's uncertainty, a lot of people try to go into the sidelines, given that where the economy is right now, we are not where we were a couple of years ago when we were the darling of Southeast Asia. And this pandemic has made us lag up against peers in our region. But that being said, we dropped yesterday, but there will be certain points now similar to what's happening in the markets, where when you see a ton of selling, there it's also followed by when it hits a level where okay, people have or or it's relatively oversold already, people start to pile back in once again. So as you can see right here, we hit oversold levels, at least no, the lower portion of the RSI, so, July 21. Then we did it again somehow around yesterday as well. So I think whatever we're seeing also right now, whatever upward push, whatever upward movement, is primarily because of what of us being relatively oversold. But looking at it from a chart standpoint, I just want to note a couple of things. Number one, we're still below the 20, the 50, the 100, and the 200-day moving averages. MACD also is relatively right now below zero still. And if you'll allow me to zoom in further, I want you to see this, that if I'm going to draw some sort of an upward trending slope right here and connect these points all together, it's quite evident right here that the upward trending push was also broken. So you have at least know from a couple of weeks ago certain signals above and beyond news items that um, are not so bullish for the markets. Number one, the failure to break the 7,068 resistance. Number two, the upward trending line that started mid-May was also broken. Then you have all four short, mid, and long-term moving averages also bearish. And right now you have the MACD also dipping below the zero line. And I want to show this to all of you, that if you'll try to project this downward level here, you see it's very, very clear also that it's still in this downward path. So in my opinion, it needs to let me just fix it needs to break this line, at least to show us confirmation that whatever downward bias there is somehow tapering down. But all of our indicators right now is showing us still that it needs it needs a certain point where you see more buyers buy it higher. We're not yet there. I really believe that the upward movement that we have right now is primarily because of us just bouncing from oversold levels, which is normal. So let's see how it goes over the next few days. And we've seen markets also recover naman several times from movements like this. And again, the more news gets better, also the more tapered down, I guess, the movement will be on the downside. And I want to talk about Ayala Corporation because it had the largest value turnover today. And I just want to mention this, that we closed today at around 413 billion pesos in terms of value turnover. AC was around 419, so roughly AC was around 10% already of the total value traded for at least for the day. It's up 2.78%. And if you look at it, Ali was up 4.15%. It closed the day at 38.85 pesos per share. Value turnover was around 307. So the top two in terms of market cap na Ayala companies was already 700 million pesos for the day. Then if you add SM 200 million, BDO 196, then you have BDO 181. Roughly also, if you add both of that, that's around 600 million pesos. So you add 700 plus 600, around 1.3 billion pesos was AC, Ali, SM, BDO, and SM Prime, which was a big chunk of the index. And we also saw both BDO and SM Prime, which are large chunks of the index, up 4% for the day. So that being said, I want to show you how those five stocks have gone, so that you also have a clearer context of why the index is moving this way. So please remember that the index is basically just a representation of the 30 stocks that we have, but 40 to 45 to 50% of them also are represented by these five companies. So as you can see, it looks similarly the same, eerily the same as how I drew the Philippine Stock Exchange Index, and you have your downward trending slope also right here, and then you also have it below the 20, 50, 100, and 200-day moving average. RSI also is bouncing off oversold levels. Then you have MACD also below the zero line. Then allow me to show you Ayala Land. So for Ayala Land, this is how it actually looks. Same thing, MACD below the zero line, cross RSI, bouncing off oversold levels. Then you also have this particular downward trending slope that you can also put, or at least, you can also put and superimpose for Ayala Land as well. So pretty much the same below the 20, 50, 100, and 200-day moving average. Then I want to show you SM, which you can see there's almost the same narrative for it, as you can see right here. MACD below zero, below the 20, 50, 100, 200-day moving average. It's just that our RSI really did not hit oversold levels as compared to Ali and AC and the Philippine Stock Exchange Index. So SM Prime is similar to AC and Ali and the index. MACD below zero, RSI crosses up below the 20, 50, 100-day moving average. And if you'll allow me to plot a support line here, you have one right here, which is your level of support at the very least for, hindi nagdo-drawing. There you go. Which is your support line for SM Prime. Then you have your resistance right here, which is at the 38 peso mark. So what's interesting though for SM Prime, now if you'll try to analyze SM Prime from a more holistic level, above and beyond it, being oversold and below the zero line cross for MACD, I want to show you this, that we saw markets recover last year. And then as it started to recover, late last year to early this year, it went to as high as 40. But after that, it continued to close down. So I think this will be a prevailing theme for the year until we really see more direction on where the economy is headed. I think that we could just primarily move sideways. And for SM Prime to get out of that sideways pattern, to get out of that sideways motion, it must break past somewhere around here, the 40.53 mark. So that's where SMPH is. Let's look at BDO to somehow give you entire broad context of what's happening for all of our uh, large cap stocks. So BDO, same thing, and I've mentioned this in my other videos that it really has had a hard time of breaking past this particular area right here. I think the 115 level is a very strong resistance for BDO. I tried to do it a couple of days ago, but just after breaking out, it failed and then it continued to push lower. So MACD is below zero. RSI is, if as you can see here, bouncing off oversold levels. And I guess the only difference between BDO compared to the other stocks that we talked about is this is the only one that's above the 200-day moving average. Comparing AC, Ali, and the other ones that I've mentioned, they're all below the 200-day moving average. It just needs to break out, I think, the 115 resistance level for us to actually see a level of movement up. No? And if you've been tracking this, or at least you've been following my videos here, medyo hirap siya. It hasn't really gone up this level uh, since the drop of March 2020. So we really have not seen any upward motion for BDO. It has been consolidating. And please do remember this, that it's normal also for stocks, no matter if they're blue chips, to go in through levels like this, that there will be times that it will just consolidate. And you will see that primarily also for a lot of the stocks until there's any direction of where it could possibly go. I think I want to talk about Dito because it was also one of the ones that moved up last year. But for this year, it has seen bits and pieces of selling as well. And if you'll see it, similar to uh, similar to what we talked about for the other index stocks, it's below the 20, 50, 100, and 200-day moving average. RSI is also oversold and MACD is below zero. But the main difference is it must break out of this downward trending slope. So very interesting for the ones that were the darlings of at least upward movement in 2020 last year. So this is how Mary Mart is. If you try to connect Mary Mart naman, similar fashion, this is its downward trending slope. It's below the 20, 50, 100, 200-day moving average. MACD is also below zero. RSI is also oversold, and it's also it's still also in a downward trending slope. And uh, I I think if you'll try to put a support level, you can put one at the 393 mark, and then somewhere around here, the 3.45 level. So things to watch. Those are, I guess, things to watch out for those who are watching MM. And then lastly, I think I want to talk about ASEN as well, because those were the three stocks that somehow did so well last year. But now AC Energy is doing, I think, better than MM and ASEN from a standpoint of it really hasn't. We haven't seen downward pushes for it. It's still within this consolidatory range. So this is the current range for AC Energy. It's closer though to the resistance than the support, and it seems that it's holding off the 100-day moving average. So please remember that ASEN has been a recipient of tons of fundraising the past few months. And as you all know, also, they are continually expanding their operations, they're continually expanding their business. And what's so exciting about ASEN is its play into the renewable space. I'm a big fan of companies that are into something that's bringing the world forward, that when you invest in something, you always want to be in the right side of change. So I think I'm going to do more of this I guess in the next few days also, because I know I've been doing a lot of crypto videos, but rest assured I'm going to do my best also to just give you enough value and content so that you guys can somehow have context of how the market is from a technical analysis point of view. So there, if you guys want more of this, we have our last technical analysis course for the year. Bilis ng taon, no? We're we're rounding up already, at least the third quarter. We're nearing August already, and we're doing one. I think it will be in the fourth quarter. Links are in the description below, and then we're also having a fundamental analysis course happening next month. So if you guys want to join that, check it out down below. And for those who want to trade Bitcoin, Forex, and also US markets, we have brokerages that you can try, platforms below. GoTrade allows you to trade US markets for $1. You have Binance that allows you to trade cryptocurrencies for $10 lang. You can start buying and selling already. And then forex markets, you can use XM. They give you a 30 US dollar uh somehow starter pack that if you want, you can use that already to trade the forex markets as well. And yun, you can also learn via the books that I have. Check it out in the description. It's via Shopee and Lazada. So I hope you guys got a lot from this, and I hope that this is something that's insightful. If you guys have more requests on videos that you want me to make, or if you have questions or particular stocks for the Philippine markets, put them in the description below, or put them in the comment section below, and I'll try to make videos on top of that. So there, congratulations to Hidlin Diaz, and I hope that we have more Filipinos that do well in the do well in the global stage. I think that Filipinos are not, we're meant for great things. It's, and we mustn't let what we see around us define what we could actually do. That we could do so many great things. We're meant for greatness, and don't let the noise of what you see right here in the country or in the news drown out what you're supposed to do. Don't let it define who you are as well. So I guess that's it for now. This is Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.